Right. So you know how it is, you're trying to, really grow your business and everybody keeps saying, oh, AI is the way to go. But it can feel kind of like, trying to learn a whole new language, right?
Yeah.
Like, how do you even begin to actually use AI to really make a difference in your business?
Right. Exactly. And I think that's a really common feeling that a lot of business leaders have. This sense of AI being this incredibly powerful tool, but not quite knowing where to even start.
Yeah, and that's actually what made this particular deep dive so interesting to me, because you sent over this PDF by Sam Onigbanjo called Democratizing AI in Marketing, which immediately caught my eye.
Oh, yeah, that title itself is really intriguing. Democratizing AI, it suggests that AI isn't just going to be this thing that's only accessible to like the huge tech companies, right?
Exactly. It's about making it accessible to everybody. And that's something that we're seeing more and more of. But, alongside that PDF, we also got some information about Sam himself.
Okay, yeah. So it's not just about the ideas, it's about understanding the person behind those ideas, right?
Totally. And so for this deep dive, I think it would be really fascinating to kind of like tackle two things, right? First, like, what does Sam actually say about AI and marketing? Like, what are the benefits he's highlighting in that PDF?
Okay, so really like digging into the practical takeaways from that document.
Exactly. And then second, who is this guy?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of experience does he bring to the table?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess ultimately, like, what kinds of leaders out there should be taking note of what he has to say?
Yeah, like who should be reaching out to this guy and saying, "Hey, I want to learn more about this. I want to see if you can help me."
Exactly. So let's start with Sam himself, right? Get a sense of who he is. So he's described as a GTM architect and business growth strategist.
GTM, so that's go-to-market, right?
That's right.
So essentially, he's all about helping businesses figure out how to actually reach their customers and scale their operations effectively.
Right. So not just building a product, but actually getting it out there into the world and, making it grow.
Exactly. And what's interesting is he's actually the creator of something called the Scale GTM Optimization System.
Okay, so it sounds like he's got a very kind of structured approach to this.
Yeah, he's not just, winging it, right? He's developed a system, a framework for helping businesses achieve that go-to-market success.
Right, and that's really valuable because it means it's repeatable, right? It's not just like a one-off thing. It's something that can be applied to different businesses in different situations.
And it suggests that he's really thought deeply about this and identify the key principles and processes that lead to that growth.
Totally. Now, looking at his experience, he's got over 20 years of commercial leadership across the UK, Africa, and global markets.
Wow. So he's not just like a one-trick pony. He's got a really broad range of experience in different contexts.
Yeah, and I think that's really important when you're talking about AI, because AI is not just a one-size-fits-all solution, right? It needs to be adapted to the specific needs of the business and the market that it's operating in.
Absolutely. And, with that kind of global perspective, he's probably seen firsthand how those needs can vary dramatically from one place to another.
Exactly. And speaking of experience, he's actually worked directly with founders, CEOs, and other C-level executives.
Okay, so he's not just like, advising from the sidelines. He's actually in the trenches with these leaders, helping them craft their strategies.
That's right. And specifically on crafting scalable go-to-market strategies powered by AI and digital marketing. So he's really at that intersection of, strategy, technology, and growth, which is really fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, that's where the magic happens, right? It's not just about understanding the technology, but understanding how to apply it strategically to achieve those business goals.
Totally. And I think it's worth mentioning some specific examples of his work, because I think that really paints a picture of what he's capable of. So, for instance, he played a key role in the £77 million Croydon Local Enterprise Growth Initiative.
Wow. Okay, that sounds like a major undertaking.
And he was involved in the architecture, design, and leadership of this project, which aimed to support local businesses and really foster economic growth in that area.
Interesting. So it wasn't just about, helping one or two businesses. It was about taking a much broader kind of ecosystem approach.
Exactly. And that involved really understanding the needs of all sorts of different small businesses and figuring out how to create the conditions for them to thrive.
So it sounds like he's comfortable operating at both the micro and macro level, right? Like he can focus on individual businesses, but also zoom out and see the bigger picture of how they all fit together.
Exactly. And then there's the 2021 Global Diaspora Database for the Nigerian Diaspora Commission.
Oh, okay. So this is something completely different.
Yeah, this was a massive project where he led the full design and execution of a system that was aimed at connecting with Nigerians living all around the world.
Wow, so that's a huge audience with a ton of different cultural and regional variations to take into account.
Exactly. And that's where his expertise in data architecture and segmentation really comes into play, right? He had to figure out how to build a system that could capture all of that diversity and still be effective in reaching those different communities.
That's a serious challenge, not just from a technical standpoint, but also from a cultural sensitivity standpoint, right?
Right.
You have to understand how to communicate with people from different backgrounds in a way that resonates with them.
Absolutely. And I think that speaks to his ability to operate on a global scale and really tailor his approach to different audiences.
Yeah, and then there's this example from 2022 where he used his scale GTM optimization model for the Bloomsbury Institute Student Guild.
Oh, yeah. That's a really interesting one because it resulted in an 800% increase in social media engagement and a big jump in student participation.
Wow. Okay, so those are some serious results.
Yeah, and I think what's really compelling about that example is that it shows that his framework can be applied to a much more focused context like student engagement and still deliver these really impressive outcomes.
Right, so it's not just for massive corporations or government initiatives. It can be tailored to the specific needs of different organizations.
Exactly. And just this year, in 2024, he was actually a guest speaker at the Nigerian Diaspora Summit in Abuja.
Okay, so he's out there sharing his knowledge and his insights with a wider audience.
Yeah, and he was specifically talking about demystifying AI for government, large corporations, and small to medium-sized businesses.
So again, that theme of democratization, right? Making AI accessible to everybody.
Exactly. And he was sharing practical ways that they could use AI to boost productivity, reduce costs, and improve their services to compete on a global scale.
So it's not just about the theory, it's about the practical applications.
Totally. And he kept coming back to this idea of his own system, the scale GTM optimization system, as being kind of like the foundation of his work.
Yeah, so it sounds like he's really passionate about the system and believes in its ability to deliver results.
Yeah. And, beyond all of that business stuff, he's also a lead volunteer for a venture finance group at Oxford's Said Business School and a youth mentor.
Oh, wow. So he's really committed to giving back to the community and helping others.
Exactly. It's not just about making money. It's about making a positive impact on the world.
Yeah, that's really inspiring. I think it speaks to his character and his values.
Totally. So we've got this really interesting picture of Sam Onigbanjo, someone with deep experience in helping businesses grow a global perspective, and now a strong focus on leveraging AI to achieve that growth. So let's shift gears a little bit and actually dive into his PDF, Democratizing AI in Marketing. From startups to enterprises, level the playing field.
All right, let's see what he has to say about the specific benefits of AI in marketing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, he starts by acknowledging that marketing has always involved some level of automation, right? Like even before we were talking about AI, there were tools and technologies that were helping marketers automate certain tasks.
Right, like email marketing platforms or social media scheduling tools, things like that.
Exactly. But he makes this really important distinction that the current wave of true AI offers capabilities that go way beyond traditional automation.
Okay, so this is not just about doing things faster or more efficiently. It's about doing things that we couldn't even do before.
Right. It's about leveraging these really advanced algorithms to analyze data, identify patterns, and make predictions in a way that was simply not possible with older technologies.
And that's where the real game-changing potential of AI lies, right?
Exactly. And he then goes on to lay out this really clear comparison between how marketing has traditionally been done and how AI is transforming the game. So traditional marketing, he says, often involves a lot of manual work, time-consuming research, and can be quite expensive.
Right. And that can be a real barrier for smaller businesses especially.
Exactly. They might not have the resources to hire big marketing teams or agencies or invest in all of the latest tools and technologies.
So they're kind of at a disadvantage, right?
Yeah. And that's where he sees AI as being this really powerful equalizer, because AI-powered marketing, as he describes it, brings in automation to streamline those tasks, data-driven insights to inform strategies, and ultimately greater affordability.
So it's not just about making things easier, it's about making them more accessible to a wider range of businesses.
Exactly. And that's where that idea of democratizing AI really comes into play, right? It's about making these powerful capabilities available to everyone, not just the big guys.
Totally. And one of the first areas he dives into is how AI is transforming search engine rankings, both the speed and the accuracy involved.
Right. So he talks about how traditional SEO, which is search engine optimization, can be this really lengthy process of keyword research, on-page optimization, fixing technical issues, and it can take months or even years to see significant results.
And it can be really frustrating, right? Especially if you're a small business and you're trying to compete with those bigger players who have more resources and expertise.
Exactly. And that's where he sees AI-driven SEO as being a real game changer, because he argues that it can significantly accelerate those processes and make them more accessible.
So instead of taking months or years to see results, you can start seeing improvements much more quickly.
Exactly. And he does caution, though, that you still need to understand the fundamentals of SEO to make it work effectively. It's a powerful tool, but it's not a replacement for strategic thinking.
Right. You still need to know what you're doing. You can't just plug in some keywords and expect magic to happen.
Exactly. You need to understand how search engines work, how people search for information, and how to create content that's both valuable to your audience and optimized for search engines.
And AI can help you do all of that more effectively.
Totally. So he then gets really specific about AI's role in keyword research and strategy. And he mentions some AI tools that you might be familiar with, like SEMrush and Ahrefs, and also Google's own AI algorithms.
Okay, so these are tools that can help you analyze vast amounts of data to understand what people are actually searching for.
Exactly. And he explains how they can help you do keyword research much more efficiently, understand the real intent behind those searches, and structure your content in a way that aligns with that intent.
So it's not just about finding the keywords with the highest search volume. It's about understanding the nuance behind those searches. Like, what are people really looking for? What are their pain points? What are their goals?
Exactly. And AI can help you uncover those insights much more effectively than you could through manual research.
And that's really valuable because it allows you to create content that's truly relevant to your target audience and more likely to rank well in search results.
Exactly. And he also talks about how AI enables something he calls laser targeting, which I love that phrase.
Laser targeting. So it sounds like getting very, very specific.
It is. It's about pinpointing the exact keywords that your ideal customer is using when they're searching for solutions like yours.
So it's not just about broad demographics like age or location. It's about understanding the specific language that your target audience uses when they have a problem that your business can solve.
Exactly. And AI can help you connect that language to your website content so that when people search for those specific terms, your website shows up.
And that's incredibly powerful because it means you're reaching the right people at the right time with the right message.
Exactly. And the payoff of that laser focus is higher conversion rates because you're essentially meeting your ideal customer exactly where they are online with exactly the information they're looking for.
That makes so much sense. If you're showing people exactly what they want, they're much more likely to take action.
Totally. And then he gets into this idea of AI optimized content for SEO success. And he emphasizes that while high quality content is still absolutely crucial, AI can enhance that content to make it even more SEO friendly and designed to rank higher in search results.
So it's not about replacing human creativity. It's about augmenting it with AI.
Exactly. And he highlights several ways that AI can contribute here, like ensuring effective keyword placement within the content, improving readability and overall structure, aligning the content with search intent, and even incorporating something called latent semantic indexing, or LSI.
LSI. Okay, so that sounds a little technical. What is that exactly?
Yeah, so basically LSI is about helping Google understand the broader context and meaning of your content by identifying related terms and concepts. So instead of just focusing on individual keywords, you're also thinking about the overall topic and theme of your content.
Okay, so it's like giving Google a more holistic understanding of what your content is about.
Exactly, and that can help your content rank for a wider range of relevant search terms.
That makes sense, and it also probably helps Google to surface your content to the right audience.
Totally. So next up, he talks about AI-driven technical SEO, and he explains how things like website speed, mobile friendliness, and the presence of dedicated content all play a role in your search rankings.
Right. Those are all really important factors that Google takes into account when it's ranking websites.
Exactly. And he points out that AI platforms can now automate website audits to identify and flag these kinds of technical SEO issues.
Okay, so that's a huge time saver, right? Instead of having to manually go through your website and check all of these things, AI can do it for you.
Totally. And it can also identify issues that you might not even be aware of.
Right, because sometimes these technical SEO issues can be really subtle and difficult to spot.
Exactly. And so by using AI, you can ensure that your website is technically sound and optimized for search engines.
And that can have a big impact on your rankings and your traffic.
Totally. And all of this leads to some really compelling economic benefits, according to Sam.
Okay, so let's talk about the bottom line. How does AI actually save businesses money?
So he argues that AI is making high-level digital marketing automation accessible to more businesses, which in turn reduces the costs associated with manual labor and ineffective marketing campaigns.
Right, because if you can automate those tasks, you don't need to hire as many people to do them, and you're also more likely to see results from your marketing efforts.
Yeah.
Exactly, so it's a win-win. And he specifically mentions that AI helps reduce both the time and the cost involved in achieving digital growth, makes SEO more affordable for small and medium-sized enterprises, and ultimately delivers improved ROI through this AI-optimized approach to marketing.
So it's not just about saving money, it's about making your marketing dollars work harder.
Exactly. And to quickly recap some of those automated benefits, AI assists with SEO keyword research. It enables data-driven content creation. It conducts website audits for technical SEO improvements, and it generally leads to better informed content creation.
Okay, so it's like having a whole team of digital marketing experts working for you 24/7.
Yeah, in a way, and the overarching benefit of all of that is the potential for significant cost savings.
Right, because time is money. And if AI can free up your time to focus on other areas of your business, that's a huge advantage.
Totally. And he also explains how data-driven digital marketing powered by AI can help businesses optimize their advertising performance, lower their customer acquisition costs, and drive more organic traffic to their websites. Okay, so those are all really important metrics that every business is focused on.
Exactly. And AI can help you improve those metrics by analyzing data, identifying patterns, and making predictions about what's going to be most effective.
So it takes the guesswork out of marketing and allows you to make more data-driven decisions.
Totally. And for larger businesses, he suggests that AI marketing automation acts as a force multiplier, essentially amplifying their existing efforts while also helping to control costs.
Right, so it's not just about doing more with less, it's about doing more with the same amount of resources.
Exactly, and that's really important for businesses that are trying to scale and grow.
Totally. So he wraps up the benefits section by highlighting 3 key takeaways regarding AI's impact.
Okay, what are those?
First, he says that AI accelerates SEO performance and overall marketing effectiveness, leading to measurable improvements. Second, it enhances how businesses target customers through predictive analytics, allowing them to better understand and reach their ideal audience. And third, it truly levels the playing field for startups and SMEs by providing access to powerful AI-driven automation.
Okay, so essentially it's about speed, precision, and accessibility.
Exactly. And those are really powerful advantages for businesses of all sizes.
Totally. So considering all of that, who are the types of leaders who should really be paying attention to Sam Onigbanjo and maybe even trying to connect with him?
Well, based on his background and what he's talking about in this PDF, it seems like a pretty wide range of leaders could benefit from his expertise. Certainly founders and CEOs of companies that are in that growth phase and looking to scale quickly and efficiently.
Yeah, if you're leading a company with ambitious growth targets and you're trying to figure out how to leverage technology to get there, he sounds like a valuable resource.
And definitely C-level executives who are responsible for go-to-market strategy and revenue growth. They're always looking for ways to scale their efforts and make them more effective. And AI is clearly a key part of that now.
Totally. And really anyone who's interested in integrating AI and data-driven approaches into their marketing and their overall business strategy. That seems to be his sweet spot.
Given his extensive global experience, leaders who are looking to expand their businesses into new international markets would also probably find his insights really relevant.
Absolutely. And if you're focused on automating key processes like lead generation and customer journeys, AI plays a significant role there. And it sounds like he has a deep understanding of how to implement those kinds of systems.
Companies that are sitting on a lot of data and are trying to figure out how to use it to make better decisions, that's another area where AI can be really valuable. And Sam seems to have a strong grasp on how to leverage data effectively.
And it's interesting because given his involvement with venture finance companies that are positioning themselves for investment or sustainable financing options, might also find his perspective valuable.
Right, because he understands what investors are looking for and how AI can contribute to those goals.
Exactly. And then going back to his earlier work, leaders of local enterprises and entrepreneurial hubs might find his approach to community-focused growth really relevant.
Absolutely. And government and public sector leaders who are looking to build large-scale, data-driven platforms for citizen engagement might also benefit from his expertise.
Totally. And even leaders in higher education who are trying to figure out how to boost student engagement might find his insights helpful.
It seems like his frameworks can be applied to a wide range of different sectors and challenges.
Exactly. And finally, businesses that are trying to align with environmental sustainability goals and tap into the green economy might find his guidance particularly relevant.
So really, a wide range of leaders could benefit from his expertise.
Yeah, and to bring it all together, Sam's mission seems to be centered around helping ambitious founders and growth-oriented businesses scale with speed, clarity, and precision by leveraging AI data and his proven go-to-market frameworks.
It sounds like he's got a really clear vision for how AI can transform businesses.
Totally. So if you're serious about achieving significant growth and you see the potential of AI to get you there, he's definitely someone worth connecting with.
Absolutely. So we've taken a really deep dive into Sam Onigbanjo's perspective on democratizing AI in marketing and his impressive background.
Yeah, and we've seen how he believes AI can drive significant increases in efficiency, better customer targeting, cost reductions, and ultimately make effective marketing strategies accessible to businesses of all sizes.
And his track record in developing and implementing go-to-market strategies, now infused with his understanding of AI, positions him as a really valuable strategic partner for businesses that are trying to grow and thrive in today's market.
Totally. So here's a final thought for you, given Sam's experience and the potential of AI in marketing. What's one specific area within your own business where applying these insights could have the biggest impact? And how might exploring Sam Onigbanjo's work further, maybe even connecting with him, help you unlock that potential and accelerate your growth? We encourage you to check out his profile and see if his expertise aligns with your ambitions.
Absolutely. It's definitely worth a look.
Totally.